Greetings, minions and associates. If you are already a minion and you would like to tithe, please hit like. If you would like to become a minion, please hit follow. If you would like to confess, please do so in the comments. And if you would like to confess, please share. Or excuse me, if you would like to evangelize, please share. So today we're going to look, we're supposed to be starting to talk about autism, but I want to look at this first. Boy shot dead by officer in Utica during struggle had pellet gun, chief says. So this is what the story is that the police are telling. But basically, they went and gunned down a 13-year-old. Not a Caucasian, by the way. Just saying. Let's see what this lady has to say.
Challenging. Highlight the text you want to simplify and let Grammarly rewrite it.
And are you looking for something fun to do this weekend? Well, we've got you covered from books and Shakespeare to watermelons and even Taylor Swift. Here's the Fox 7 weekend.
The 71st annual Luling Watermelon Thump is going on today and tomorrow at the Watermelon Thump Pavilion.
If you do any work on the computer, having an AI tool that helps you with your writing will save you a ton of time. That's where Grammarly comes in.
This is all ads and stuff, I guess.
Going on right now in Westport. It's designed to show members of the United Nations and their families what this town has to.
Okay, so I thought they were gonna have a story here, but I guess not. So 3 officers have been placed on paid leave. The chief said the kid had a replica Glock pellet gun with a detachable magazine. Now, okay, wait a minute. It says was found. Now, that gives you the picture of an actual gun. What it could have been all orange. There's no telling what this thing looked like. Did it look real? Was it all orange? Was it obvious that it was not? What did he even have it at the time? Or was it just in the area? In the vicinity? So we really don't know what the situation was with this thing. And maybe it did look like a gun. Maybe the kid pointed at the cops. I don't know. I have a feeling that's not what happened. Because this stuff happens every day. Cops need to chill the hell out when it comes to drawing their weapons and killing people. Yeah. What is it? 3 people every single day are gunned down by police? Isn't that what this statistic is? 3 people a day in the United States are gunned down by police. Let's see if we can find a video representation of the story. Let's see. What's today's date? Today the 29th? 31st. What's the date? The 22nd? So how old is this story? Like this is, it looks like it's a fairly fresh story here. we're gonna get out of here. We're getting out of there. My virus protection said that that particular WKTV site, whatever, was full of viruses and shit. Now he's pointing it at. See, before at first the story was not that he pointed it at officers. So now I'm starting to think they're making up stories. Who pointed a pellet gun at officers chasing him after him was shot and killed. And the thing is the kid didn't do anything wrong. They were quote investigating. And that's it escalated from there. So those cops, if they had not shown up, this kid would not be dead. Period. I was a peace officer for 15 years. I will tell you this, if you're not there, it can't happen. In a chaotic press conference Saturday morning, disrupted by members of the public shouting at police, the Utica police chief Mark Williams says he wasn't ready to say what initial incident caused officers to stop 13-year-old. Because they think that they can just stop and harass anybody they want to at any time they want to, is why they stopped him. And he was not white. That didn't help. If he had been white, he may not have been stopped. We don't know. But I mean, it's zero surprise to me that this kid is, well, not white, not Caucasian. This is bullshit. Every single day I see this. Every single day. Usually it involves autistic kids. This is not involving. It's not indicating that he was autistic. This story was just brought to my attention by a person from TikTok. So, per state regulation, the state attorney general's office will lead an investigation into the justification of the officer's actions. Well, at least there's a state attorney. Like in a lot of states, it depends on the local sheriff. If the local sheriff thinks his boys were in line or not, you know. Well, of course, my boys were always in line. They were, according to me, that was a clean shoot, and that was justified. And my officers are the best on the planet in this county, nation, place here, way. I'm the autistic guy that makes fun of people. That's really bad. I'm going to hell for that, I'm sure. We will get to ABA. We will get to ABA at some point in time. Maybe. I don't even know how long I'm going today. I don't even care. We are aware of a video of this incident, so which does not portray the incident in its entirety. We ask the public to obtain this information. All information will be made available. Yeah. So there's a video, and okay, I gotta find this video. Okay, 13-year-old shot and killed by police. I'll copy that. I want to see this video. I don't know if they're going to show it to us or not. Actually, I don't even know which one I can but I may not be able to show it on certain uh, platforms, so I'll have to be careful with that one actually. So I can't show the video probably of him actually. Daily Mail. Now this is going to be censored, so if there's anything here, it's going to be censored. Okay, we're not going to go there. But we can read the story. 13-year-old boy was tackled to the ground and fatally shot by police after allegedly displaying a firearm. Footage circulating social media are seen chasing an Asian male on foot as he fled. And the thing is I think they were on top of him. And there was like 3 of them on him before anybody decided to pull a gun and shoot him. That's what's crazy. One officer caught up with the boy, wrestled him to the ground before punching him in a front lawn in a residential area. 2 other officers joined the assault before one of them fired a gun at the boy. Okay, so this is very, very obviously okay. I think this is going to be okay. I think this is going to be okay.
Careful! Careful!
I'm getting scared. I better not play that. I don't want to get any strikes or anything. So let's go to back to ABA. But that this just is another instance of police brutality, and here this is against children. And I have this kind of thing, well, once a week at least, where police are they overreact against autistic people. At least one story a week where cops assault or kill an autistic person. About once a week, I think. Maybe every 2 weeks. But it's been very, very consistent for sure. Very, very consistent. Police can't claim. Yeah, that's what I want to. I hope they do come out with that body cam. I hope it better come out quick too, because they can't alter that stuff. But I hope they do come out with that, because the chief said the weapon was determined to be a replica. Oh, so the chief didn't say the toy was determined to be a replica. No, he said the weapon. He's still calling it a weapon. The chief called it a pellet gun. Okay, so he's calling it a pellet gun. So it was a pellet gun. Okay, so he had a pellet gun. 13-year-old's name has not been shared. Officers who are on paid administrative leave. So I guess New York State, because I think this out of New York, will be investigating this, which at least is good, because, like I said, depending on the state and the county and so forth, depending on where you are in this country, it could just be the local police chief deciding whether or not his boys went stepped over out of line. And he's not going to allow his boys to step out of line, because his boys wouldn't step out of line because they know that he would not allow them to step out of line. Okay, so what they did was completely within procedures. Yeah. So there's no zero accountability because the police stations and so forth, the sheriff's offices don't want to take accountability, so they just give a bunch of bullshit, and that's where it ends. Unfortunately, that's how it works in the United States. It's like something you would expect from a third world country, really. The way that the we have a police state now, where the police just get away with all kind. They can get away with murdering people all the time now. It's no big deal. It's what we expect. It's literally what we expect, and it's what they expect, or this crap wouldn't happen, particularly on a regular basis. So yes, it is exactly what they expect. It's exactly what they want to happen. If they did not want this to happen, it would not happen. But they want it to happen. It's that simple. People will not allow things to happen that they do not want to happen. If the cops did not want this to happen, they would not allow this to happen. But they train their cops to do this. They train their people to do this. That's why it happened. You do in stressful situations what you are trained to do. They preach that in your training. That's why you have to repeat your training, and it's repetitive, and you do drills and so forth because you do what you're trained to do in the heat of battle or in high stress situations, whether you're a medic or what have you, a cop in a battle, a firefighter, whatever the high stress situation is. And there's lots of jobs that are very high stress situations that are just as important, like linemen and stuff like that, um, where they have to fix things, and it gets, you know, when things are broken, you're dealing with electricity. That can be dangerous, no matter what. So yes, I chickened out. How did my overlay look, by the way? Just I could swear I just saw something fly over this. That was really weird. I hope I'm not hallucinating or something. I shouldn't be. Shooting of teen who. Okay, this is all that 13-year-old. I'm gonna stay away from that. Is ABA. Now this is not my words here. Is ABA therapy a cult? Examining ABA through the bite model. Unfortunately, the question isn't yes or no. No, it isn't. The bite model is from Stephen Hassan. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting that it has. I want to see what this. We're gonna go down the rabbit hole here, but the bite model is from Stephen Hassan, who was in a cult and is now a professor, a doctor, and he wrote a book and has helped people get out of cults for about 30, 40 years, I think. He spent quite a bit of time. Catatonia, Masking 101, The Great. Okay, interesting. Confession of a burned out advocate. I wonder who this person is. I never intended my TikTok to be a route for advocacy. It was a place where people related to my darkest parts of my time, place to share trauma. Um, yeah, I kind of feel for you there. That's for sure. I don't regret that it launched my advocacy platform. I couldn't have predicted a job I had taken to help other people, autistic children, would turn into such a traumatic and life changing experience. My job as an ABA therapist was a relatively short blip in my life, yet it made such a significant impact on who I discovered myself to be. I suppose finding out you're autistic from ABA, an industry that views your existence as inherently wrong, is just about the worst way you can find out. Ooh. Now, this is an insider, an ABA insider. The guilt I felt at leaving helpless children at the hands of people who saw them as manipulative, dysfunctional, in need of saving was nearly unbearable. I started posting on TikTok about it as a means of gaining sanity. Um, Such a reality as I was being gaslit by my co-workers and boss, and being fired was just about the best thing the clinic could have done for me. Wow, that's crazy. I don't know who this is. It says it's Lou. Lee IEU. This is December 2021. No, December 24th. This is Christmas Eve. This was released a couple of years ago. My goal was to reach TikTok. Okay. Welcome, Life of Lou. Advocacy is exhausting, even if it's behind a keyboard. Yeah, that's true. It's a ton of emotional labor to explain some things over and over to the same arguments, questions. I don't pretend to have it harder than most activists. I haven't reached a platform where I've experienced a fraction of some of the abuse I've seen. Yeah, I've seen some really bad abuse too. I'm also not, and I've been abused too. Uh, I think most advocates have at some point in time. I mean, yeah, I can't see that you wouldn't be. I'm also not in the field of advocating in harsh conditions against cruel people, but I'm also tired. I created this blog because I need a place to flesh out my ideas. I can't articulate what I need in only 150 characters. I hate talking on video, and writing has always been the way I communicate best. Okay. Thank you, Lou. Here's Facebook. This is interesting. Okay, so ABA, applied behavior analysis, is a cult. This is a acoustic, or excuse me, autistic. Autistic typing. This is on Facebook. Um, we'll get into. I'm going to follow this little rabbit hole here, but invitation to a non-threatening event. Yes, that's like your doctor recommends you go to there. Love bombing. They tell you that they're um that's where they really throw it on, that this it's like a family here, and we really just love our kids. We love our kiddos. You're gonna start getting introduced to the language. The kiddo dangling the prize in front of you. Now I don't know what they mean. Oh, Timmy's gonna be all better. We have had such. This is the only how are they? What's that way they look? That they love to put it. It's research based science or something like that. Um, and yes, that's because we know that that brainwashing works. We know that. We know that. Extracting an agreement from you that you want the prize, of course. Now, when they get that, now this extracting an agreement from you that you want the prize is saying, well, of course you want Timmy to get better. Now you're in a pact with them because you want Timmy to get better. They want Timmy to get better, and they are the ones with the power to make Timmy better. So now you're relinquishing your power to these guys, shutting down your dissent by threatening to withhold the prize. Um, when well this is going to be 40 hours a week, and you're like, I have 40 hours a week for a kid, really? Oh yes, and then now they're going to start, well, you do want Timmy to get better, don't you? And there's where the guilt comes in. See how these are tied together? I didn't even see that yet, the establishment of guilt. So the carrot stick, um, the prize, what we can give you, Timmy's going to be all better. Control of identity, information, environment, absolutely. Absolutely. Because this is where you get the autism parent, the autism mom, right? And they're going to say, well, oh well, if you ask her anything about the autism community, they're going to say, well, there are some dissent, but there's always bad apples. And what they're trying to do is make it sound like it's just one or two things. But when this is a systematic problem. If you put your hand in a blender, putting your hand in the blender, the system of doing that is a bad idea. You don't do that. Maybe you reach on the outside and you turn on the switch, but you don't put your hand in the blender under any circumstances. There's no fixing that or making it sound better or anything. It's just wrong. Um, and the environment, they will control the environment, and that's where you are or where you take the kid and everything else. So in that sense, yeah, they also made. I'm gonna see what this says. Environment. Let's see. First, they have to suck you in with the methods above. Then, once you commit a obtaining prize, then they apply the hard sell. Similarly, they'll usually tell members they can't trust. Yeah, you can't trust. You can't. Well, the autistic community. Yes, there's some people that say some really nasty things about it, but that there's always a bad apple, and we can't help that. We're the good ABA, or we're the good cult. We're the good Moonies. We're the good Jehovah's Witnesses. We're the good whatever. To get members to ignore any actual honest reporting that's been done on critical of the group or its beliefs. Yeah, and that's why they'll say this is evidence based. That's what they say, evidence based um, therapy. And we have evidence. We know brainwashing works. That's our evidence. We know torture works. That's our evidence. It's all true. We know this. All right. The controversy around ABA. Now, this is not stuff I'm writing. This is not me. It's not me or my family. Anyway, controversy around ABA. Again, this is not me. This is Catherine Lord, PhD. So this is Dr. Lord. Not to be confused with Tracy Lord. Why some autism parents and advocates find fault with their therapy. I so hate it when we're trying to shout out or something and then they minimize it right off the bat. Why some parents? No, it's most of the autistic community. Most of the people that have been through ABA of some sort in some way. It's not some. It's most. Why most autistic people find fault with the therapy is how they could. Now, actually, you could say some parents and advocates, but it would be most autistic people find fault with the therapy. So, yeah, I guess you could say some autistic parents and advocates because they're not as close to it. They don't have the PTSD like what 90% of us do from it. And I just threw that number out there. I don't know what the percentage is. I think it has been. I think somebody has been done some studies on it though, so I might find a percentage somewhere. Quick read: ABA is therapy that okay. Right off the bat, this is wrong. ABA is a therapy that helps kids. No, it doesn't. With skills and lessons, problematic behavior. See? Like hurting themselves. Oh my God, it's already framing us. And this is our advocate here. This is what fucking sucks about advocacy of people who aren't autistic. When your advocate is this demeaning, you've got a huge problem. There are several different forms of ABA. All are based on the idea of reinforcing certain behaviors will lead kids to repeat those behaviors. Yes, we know that. It's basic behavioral science. Very basic. Studies have shown that ABA is effective. It's effective for forcing children to act like they are not autistic. And it's harmful to the children. But yes, it's very, very effective to make us look like we're not hurting. At suppressing our meltdowns, at suppressing our feelings. It is very effective at that. Torture is always effective at making people change their behaviors. Right? I mean, that's why a torture is applied to convicts, or to not convicts, but to like prisoners and so forth. To extract information, to make them, to force them through pain to behave in a certain way, which is giving information. And then once they're tortured so much, then they'll just say anything to make it stop, and you have no idea what if you have good information or bad information at that point in time. So that's unfortunate. So torture really, in the end, doesn't help for extracting and getting good information. Not normally. Another criticism is that ABA is too focused on eliminating behaviors instead of building skills. Yes, it is. Let's see what the first criticism is. One criticism is ABA is that the earliest version of it used punishments as well as rewards, and they still do. Punishments are no longer used in ABA. Oh, yes, they are. Deprivation is used as a punishment, like mom not paying attention to, ignoring. That's used as a punishment to change behavior. Supporters argue that modern ABA is much less repetitive, that practitioners are trained to make learning fun and interesting for the child. Yes, they are, but when in this is the problem. When in principle, the principle of it is wrong. They want to change the behaviors because they don't like how autistic people's brains work. They don't like how we act because of how our brains work. And they say that it is wrong that we think the way we do. So they are trying to force us to look like our brains are working like everybody else's when they're not. So now you're forcing our brains to work 10 times harder. It's torture. It's what it is. And there is the only reason that is being used, and it's saying that we have behaviors, or that those behaviors are wrong, is because neurotypical people don't do those things normally. And so we don't look like neurotypical people. So when they say success, all they're saying is that they have forced us to act like a neurotypical person and to look like a neurotypical person. What if autistic people did that to everybody else, to make everybody else act like autistic, try to act like they were intellectual, to try to act like they were using reason, try to act like they were actually rationally trying to figure things out, instead of impulsively acting upon social norms. Hmm? Hmm? What if we were to force neurotypicals to look like that's what they were doing, or to actually think that way? It would be wrong because neurotypical brains don't work that way. They do act impulsively on social norms as opposed to reason and logic and rational behaviors. Finally, some autistic advocates say ABA tries to make kids with autism, see, it's a disease, they have it, they got that autism, How did you get that autism anyhow? Well, you see, I was born with it. Oh my goodness gracious, you were born with that autism? Holy hell. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Finally, some autistic self-advocates say the ABA tries to make kids with autism fit neurotypical standards. That's what my entire tirade was about there before. They argue that autistic kids have different needs, so they shouldn't be taught to look or act like neurotypical kids. Some of these advocates say, not some, most of us. I hate it when they minimalize. It really pisses me off. And this is our advocate who is minimalizing. She's even saying the right things, but she's minimalizing it to make it like it doesn't matter. Some of these advocates, as if, well, there's this fringe group over there. It's not. It's us. It's most of us. It is the community. that hates ABA, of real autistic people that have been through ABA. I wasn't actually through ABA as it says. I went through all the methodologies of ABA before it was actually wrapped up and called ABA, and it became blah 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 blah. Well, it's not standardized, but became more close to a standard as far as how they do things. Practitioners of ABA say they don't try to change the way neurodiverse kids think and feel. Instead, they say the goal is to help kids build on their strengths as much as possible. Bullshit. Then, if they're not trying to change how neurodiverse kids think and feel, then what the fuck are they doing? Why the hell are they even there? Why is there any reason to have ABA therapy if they're not there to change the way the kids think and feel? What a fucking lie. Wow. Okay. That last part kind of annoyed the little living shit out of me. But my child loves ABA and their therapist. ABA, religion. But, let's see. But my child loves ABA and their therapist, ABA, religion, and the status quo by Tara Vance. I don't know who Tara Vance is. One of the most common retorts against anyone who claims ABA therapy is abusive. But my child loves ABA. And his RBTs, you know what? A lot of kids may be being brainwashed and not realize that they're being brainwashed. And part of being brainwashed is being codependent upon the brainwasher, the person, the abuser. And so the person will adore their abuser. At least they think they do. And they will definitely tell you they do, and they will definitely think that they do adore their abuser. Because that's how cults work. If the cult leader didn't have that kind of power over the cult members, then there would not be a cult at all. Just saying. All right. There's my new lights on my desk there. I'm right here. My new lights on my desk there. All right. When non-autistic people react with horror to the allegation that ABA is abusive, they often point at their child who loves ABA.